It is Giving Tuesday, a day that encourages people to donate to charities around the world. But we have a few things you'll want to know before opening up your checkbook. Joining us now is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Good morning.
Good morning. I love Giving Tuesday.
I know, and look at you and I. We look like Christmas already, right?
I mean,
We're
the Jewish
mood.
girl getting into the Christmas thing. But, you know, of all these days,
yes,
you know, Black Friday,
yes,
I love Giving Tuesday because it's like a positive thing.
It is.
You can really feel good about giving money away, and that's why I love it.
And is there a tax benefit to giving this year?
So it's a little different, okay? In the last couple of years, we had COVID relief that allowed many more people to claim a tax deduction for their charitable giving. But in 2022 and 2023, that's gone. And so that means the only people who get a tax benefit are those who itemize their deductions. That means only about 10% of all filers get a tax benefit. Now, remember, we live in high tax states, right? New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. That means that many more people probably itemize here. And maybe you have a year where your state taxes and your mortgage interest, they're pretty close. In that kind of year, you can bunch your deductions, maybe give a little bit more to charity, and you will be an itemizer. But it only is for those folks who claim that itemized deduction.
Okay. Now, how can we make sure that the charities are legit? Because we get a lot of, you know, notes about this and that, and
it's very hard because many charities are doing just great work, but then there are the scammers who are kind of exploiting that and exploiting our hearts. So the big scam that the IRS talks about amid the charitable season, which is where we are right now, is that a charity will sound like something familiar, but it's not legitimate. So it'll be like the blankety blank cancer something, and you're like, oh, that sounds like the American Cancer Society, but it's not. So if you have any misgivings, you go to the IRS website, irs.gov, and they have a tool that allows you to search for whether or not there's a real charity, tax-exempt organization search tool. And it's really helpful. Just to remind everyone, please do not give your credit card information, your personal information on the phone via text until you vet that charity. Please be careful about this.
All right. You know, I didn't know to go to the IRS website. I always go to Charity Navigator just to see
okay, so that's another thing that you bring up, because there are these charity watchdogs that are like Charity Navigator. The Better Business Bureau has Wise Giving Alliance. There's a GuideStar. These are companies that are put together to analyze charities to decide how much money goes to the actual charity and the cause and how much goes to overhead. So that's like your second line of research.
Okay. So how can investors give to charity with Uncle Sam's help?
Well, I mean, look, there are a lot of people who maybe own a stock or a mutual fund in a taxable account. And those people, it's really interesting because you might be able to gift some of that security to a charity. When you do that, if you are claiming a tax benefit with an itemized deduction, you gift whatever the value is today, not what you bought the stock for or the mutual fund for. So this is a very cool way to get a big full value without selling it and triggering a capital gain. That's really important. If you're over the age of 70 and a half, I have a great idea. This is not for you and me. We're a long way from that. But there is something called a qualified charitable distribution. If you're over 70 and a half and you have a pre-tax IRA account, okay, so hasn't been taxed yet, there are a lot of people who have money in those accounts and they don't need that money all at once. You can basically say to the IRA fund provider, you could say, send some money to this public charity. And that will bypass you. You don't have to take any taxable event for that. It goes to the charity gets the money, you're reducing maybe your required minimum distribution in the future or for that year. QCD, a qualified charitable distribution, a wonderful tool, not used by a lot of people, so you should check that out.
All right, QCD for 70 and a half.
Not for a long time for you.
Or you.
We got a long way to go.
All right. Thank you so much, Jill.
Sure.
And you can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings and CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. For more analysis, go to JillOnMoney.com. We'll be right back.